Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Pokemon ORAS Wi-Fi battle. And in this game I'm still using my mono fighting team because it is unbeatable, and I'm pretty much a sore loser, so I'm gonna pretty much spam a team until I lose with it. So anyway, I'm battling against this guy called Wapple. He's a passerby or something. Anyway, so this video is yet again a courtesy brought to you by my beloved spouse. I don't know if I should call her a spouse, but that's a nice name to call her. Who also got me Pokemon X and helped me complete my, the 3DS game series. So I have Pokemon X, Y, ORAS, and that's cool. So thank you a lot, babe. Anyway, so speaking of which, I'm gonna go and use this big babe here, this Anavar thing, and I'm gonna, fake the Galvantula out first turn and, kill it with the Dizzy Punch for the second turn, because my opponent was like, maybe he doesn't have any fighting at normal type moves, but Dizzy Punch is a very good addition. I don't see many people. I have never actually seen anyone use Dizzy Punch on their Lopunnies. So anyway, when I saw this Emolga, I'm like, this looks suspicious. He wants to paralyze my fastest Pokemon on the team, so I'm like, I'm going to let you paralyze my Dianabol because it just doesn't care. Look at the spikes on its back. It is fantastic. So that's what makes Dianabol what it is. This is what happens when you give your Pokemon steroids. They kind of get paralyzed sometimes from time to time. So from what I've seen, this set is pretty much a troll. I'll paralyze you with Encore, and I'll trap you, I'll knock your item off and stuff. This is a cheeky and decent set. I like cheeky Pokemon, so kudos on that, Emolga, whoever you are. And in comes if you're there. Can you just call it Venusaur? I don't know. Anyway, so it sounds Italian. I mean, it looks Italian. It looks like Caesar salad or something. So anyway, the Caesar's salad decides to go Mega, and my opponent was in for a surprise. Now my opponent goes for the Sludge Bomb, but Dianabol is bulletproof, man. You just cannot shoot this thing. He's like a damn thug. He's like 50 Cent. He got shot like what, 6 to 8 times, and he lived. This is what happens when you use Dianabol on Chestnut. So anyway, I'm going to go for the substitute here because I do not want to take an attack from this thing. My opponent's going to go for the poison jab, and yeah, my opponent had to switch out their Venusaur, they had to switch out their Emolga, so as you can realize, I'm pretty much walling my opponent's team, which is fantastic. Now, I told you guys in the previous battle that I really wanted to show off Chestnut, so this is a battle where I'm actually showing him off as he deserves, because this Pokemon put a lot of work in this battle and in the following one, because this is a 2-in-1 special, as you can see from the video description. And also, with the exam period coming up, I will be posting that battle, with the Greninja discussion and whatnot. So when I get time this weekend, I will upload a video about it. So anyway, Greninja aside, Zygarde decides to come in, and since he has the same stats with Xerneas and Yveltal, I'm guessing that Zygarde is Uber. I'm not sure. So if this is an Uber, then this is an UU versus Uber, and I'm a 4th gener, so I pretty much know how to handle with Ubers, especially when people don't know how to use them. So I believe that I'm not trying to say that my opponent did not know how to use their Pokemon. I mean, I wall everything with Chestnut, so they just cannot deal with it. It's just too bulky. Okay, so two types. Two explanations of why your opponent cannot overcome your wall. A, they do not know how to use their Pokemon and they do not have the right tools, or B, like in this case, you check them. Sometimes those two match, like your opponent not only doesn't know how to play, but is checked by one Pokemon, but I'm going to assume that my opponent knew what they were doing, so that is why I'm just gonna say that they were walled, which is also what you see here, so we can assume that they were walled by Chestnut rather than not using the Pokemon properly. So anyway, I show my shield to Zygarde and I steal some health from it, and at this part of the battle, ladies and gentlemen. I go for a critical seed bomb, as you can see, critical hit, and the Zygote is most likely going to die next turn. They have to go for an extreme speed or something. Zygote would have died from my Dianabol anyway, and at this point of the battle, my opponent decided, as you will soon see in a few seconds, decided to call it quits. So, as you can see, my Chestnut pretty much walled my opponent's team. There was nothing they had. Their Galvantula was already down. Zygote was down. There was nothing that they could do. So I'm going to go into a much, spicier battle where you have everything walling, switching, predicting, everything. So this is the second part of this video where I'm battling this random passerby, which I believe that if an opponent has his name written with a capital and small letter followed by small letters instead of all capitals, it is most likely that your opponent is of age, 18, is allowed beer, and can actually think and play Pokemon properly. So Greninja, the Pokemon that is banned, was in this game, but I'm going to prove to you that Greninja is no problem, especially if you play your cards right. Greninja does not belong in Ubers, that's what I believe. Some people believe Greninja did. I really don't. So anyway, in comes this Florges thing, Petunia. Hey babe, look, it's a Lady Gaga. Mock me. Anyway, so this thing goes for the wish. Most likely it's a standard Florges Wish Protect passing set that annoys the crap out of people. But I'm gonna go and seed this thing, and in my opinion, I believe that Florges should have also had a grass type added to it, because it looks like a plant. It could be a plant fairy thing because it looks like it. So anyway, my opponent's going to go for the Moonblast, try to break my sub, which will happen because, come on, Dianabol is strong, but not too strong. So anyway, I'm going to go for the Seed Bomb just to see how much that does. It does about okay, but the Wish is going to bring it back up. I was hoping for a crit, but no. So that's it. We're back at square one, which means that my opponent either can shoot a Moonblast at me or Toxic me, and that is up to them. So my opponent decides to go for the Toxic. That will not miss this turn. I was quite fortunate the first turn, so they had to break the sub. So even if I go behind a sub, there is a time limit on my Chestnut, and it's just gonna die. So anyway, in this battle as well, Chestnut also puts a lot of work, and I'm very proud of this thing because I managed to take down this special wall, because this Florges looks like a special wall by the looks of things. And Florges can be trouble. It can be very troublesome if you do not remove it, because if this thing walls you, just like my Dianabol, if you play your cards right, like I believe I'm doing right now, you can pretty much cause a lot of unnerve, a lot of unease at your opponent's side. So that is the game. You see, if you actually manage to make your opponent nervous enough to make stupid moves, that's what wins the game. But oh well, that's me, because whenever I get nervous, I play stupidly, and that's why I lose to Squid Prince and the Insane Gamers and everyone else that I play who are decent battlers. So anyway, my Dianabol is going to go for a substitute, and in comes the Lopunny, and I'm like, hello Mega. So this Cresselia could do nothing. It just wanted to get rid of the Leech Seed. Got a Reflect Up, not that it really matters, but I'm behind a sub now, so I want to see what this thing can throw at me. Maybe a high jump kick, but this Lopunny, it's a quite creative set, actually, to be honest. So this thing goes for a Power Up Punch. To get an attack raise. Doesn't break my sub, but at +1, this thing will be lethal next turn. So I'm going to go for the Leech Seed. Still walling, by the way. I'm still here. Dianabol has not switched out. I'm not going to switch him out. I'm just going to keep him in here until he dies from poison, because he has to go down like a hero. He was assassinated. They just, poisoned his water supply, because that was the only way you could take my Chestnut down. It was the only thing that you could do. So, anyway, Dianabol is going to go for the Spiky Shield, predicting another Power-Up Punch, which is cheeky from my opponent because they really want +2. So I'm going to hurt them with Spiky Shield. This is what this is what Chestnut is actually initially built to do. So I'm going to get the seed off. They get hurt by the spiky shield. Their damage is racking up. And if I had toxic on this thing, I think I should really no, actually, I was thinking of switching Seed Bomb with Toxic because it would have helped, but you know, why should I? Because Seed Bomb is a stabbed move, and you never know. Your opponent might have a Grass or a Water or Ground type or Rock type that is like quad weak to, Grass, and it is good coverage. So anyway, um, so in comes this thing again with a Reflect Up and Cresselia's Bulk. These Seed Bombs are going to do nothing. It's like eating a pip and just spitting it, at Cresselia's face instead of, actually making an impact like a bomb with those seeds. I just spat a pip in Cresselia's face. That's all I did. I just spat a pip in its face. That damage was horrible. So anyway, my opponent is going to go for the Toxic. They like using Toxic a lot, which is something that we can see because they have Toxic on almost every single thing they own. Now, at this range of health, I'm pretty much thinking that my opponent wants to keep it as Death Fodder, but I was like, okay, what if that Lopunny comes in? Should I go for a knockoff? Is it safe? And my opponent finally decides to pick, Lopunny, switch out his jelly thing. And I'm like, I so should have gone for Drain Punch. I mean, it was stabbed. I would have been able to take the hit, and I would have, gotten myself out of this predicament. Now I'm at the mercy of its power-up punch. It's going to be at +1. It's going to be too much to deal with. So this thing not only gets +1, but it also manages to get a critical hit, which is bad because I'm pretty much sure that if I did not get critted here, I could have lived one, so I could have retaliated with a Drain Punch later. So I'm going to have to send in my own Lopunny, and you, ladies and gentlemen, will be the judges. You'll decide which Lopunny is the best, the one with steroids or the natural ones, natty or roids. It's all up to you, ladies and gentlemen. This debate is not only Pokemon, it is to see which is best, okay? Would you use steroids or would you use natural Pokemon? Because this Anavar was not used, did not use protein only to max its attack. I said so before. These Pokemon are relentless. So, ladies and gentlemen, the pivot Pokemon, the key Pokemon, the Mon, the most important guy on my team. He is the soul of my team, and I'm not just saying that because Lucario is, dexed as the Aura Pokemon, but this thing is really the spirit and soul of my team because it does fantastic. So I managed to get a special defense drop, which is amazing. Because first of all, my opponent goes for the Infestation, which I did not predict, and secondly, I knew that these things carry Will-O-Wisp. I mean, pretty much all defensive ghosts carry Will-O-Wisp, like Sableye, Spiritomb, and Fagrigus. So it is only logical. For me to go for Flash Cannon and wreck this thing with -1 in special defense. So I managed to get rid of both walls, which is fantastic. Physical and special are out of the way, and my Stanozolol is here, and it can kill stuff. Now, I tried to do a quick damage calc, and this is a modest Choice Scarf max speed, max special attack set, and if this opponent's Lopunny was Jolly or Adamant, it doesn't really matter because Modest Scarf managed to outspeed either way. So in comes Greninja, the Pokemon that got banned, and at this battle I'm going to prove to you guys why I really disagree. But I've heard some very good arguments, why they should have kept it in OU, and some very good arguments why it should have been banned to Uber. So I flinch, I die, and you will see in the battle, you will see in the next video what I mean by I agree and disagree, but mostly I disagree with Greninja being banned because I'm going to go for the Fake Out, I'm going to slap the shit out of this thing, and I was thinking of going for a Thunder Punch because I do pack it, and it would have been lulzy, but I'm like, go for the Stab Drain Punch, you never know what this thing might do. Now, the main thing that people say that Greninja got banned for was the fact that it was unpredictable in terms of what set was being used against you. Now, you do not know what you're dealing with, because when my opponent led off with Greninja, I was assuming that, they were special, but they were actually physical. This was a physical Greninja, and you really do not know what to predict in these games. So, In comes me and Xiao. Speaking of which, my opponent only has 2 Pokemon. I'm going to go for the Drain Punch because I outspeed. I am going to do a lot of damage, but not enough to kill this thing. Which means that if High Jump Kick lands, which it does, it's going to most probably take me out. So, Greninja, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, it is a Pokemon that you can trust. It is a Pokemon that you cannot trust. It is something that, when you see it in your opponent's team, you just kind of get nervous. It's just there to make you nervous, and that is one of the reasons why it got banned by Smogon, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to send in Oxybalone and, pretty much seal the deal here. My opponent, kind of trolled me here. Although I went for the obvious Mach Punch, my opponent decided to switch out. My opponent, no, they lost, but they wanted to prove that they can actually still play me until the very end. So I get a guts boost here, by the way. Thanks for the toxic. It really helped. It was really useful. Thank you very much. So my opponent is going to throw me everything they have with their last breath. That is what a warrior does. They fight until the last breath, and I do flinch, but it doesn't really matter because I do have Deca, I do have Bullet Punch, I do have Priority, I have everything I need in this world. So me and Xiao is going to get out of here. He's going to die, and I am going to win this match. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed both battles. I hope you guys are having fun, and comment, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I will be posting the Greninja video quite soon after I'm done with some exam stuff, because I'm really getting killed here. So if I kind of delay, I believe that I gave myself or you guys an explanation. So I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.